What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again, guys. We have a 2007 Tony Stewart Chicagoland race to win, and arguably one of his coolest race to win diecasts ever produced, because it actually got made in 164. Thanks to Action and Winter Circle back in '07, they pretty much had every diecast in the Cup Series made in 164 scale. Let's take a gander at this beautiful diecast. And here we go, folks, with today's diecast review. And it is a good one indeed. The 2007 Chicagoland race winning car. And what's interesting about Chicagoland is, the years that they were in the sport. They only had one race a year, I believe. So that was kind of interesting. All these different 1.5 miles. Heck, even Fontana, had 2 race dates at one point. But for whatever reason, Chicagoland only had one. And it's so cool to see it come back in 2026. Hopefully that'll be a great event. So we go over to the front of the diecast here. You can clearly see a ton of confetti on this car. And it might be the most confetti-caked Tony Stewart diecast I have seen. I mean, they've made, they made both of his Brickyard wins. They've made, let's see, they never made his Daytona 400 wins, I don't think, in 164 I'm talking about. 2007, they made his Watkins Glen win. I think they made his, Daytona Shootout win. But I think this is the heaviest confetti one out of all of them. But they've made quite a bit of the Tony Stewart raced wins, which arguably one of the most iconic paint schemes ever, man. And I love confetti on a diecast. But the only thing that kind of irks me about the older raced wins is the windows. I mean, nowadays we have the technology, right? And all the raced win diecasts have the window prints on them. So I kind of wish they would go back and remake some of these, but you know what? It is what it is. You got the front of the diecast here, the red, white, and blue, I believe it is the confetti palette. You got the Home Depot right there on the front of the car, and you have that iconic Gen 4 front end. If it looks a little bit skewed, it's supposed to be like that. That's how the Gen 4 cars were in that era. 2007 technically was the last year, technically the last year of the modified front ends, because the COT was pretty much a structured, rigid box front end, so to speak. You got Comp, Edelbrock, Rebestos, got Sunoco, Clavite. Let me zoom in a little bit here. You can get a good gander at it, if you will. You can really see all the dirt and grime. Got Wicks, Goodyear Gator back belts. You could see kind of like a carbon fiber almost look to the bottom side skirt, which I'm not really sure why it looks like that. I don't know if they just put tape across it. I have no idea, because you would think it's just a normal side skirt, right? Well, the normal side skirt is just, a normal dark gloss black. But on the front, it's like, it almost looks like a cheese grater, if you will. So that's kind of interesting. You got your lower valence orange, which I want to say might be a different shade of orange. I'm not sure. You got Monte Carlo SS there, and covered in confetti, naturally. Got Joe Gibbs Racing, I think, maybe on the headlight. I don't know. You got the number 20 on this one. You got the confetti. I like how it's built up around the grill. That area is going to have a lot of heat, right? And it's pulling air in, so traditionally it absorbs a lot of confetti. Same here with the cowl flaps. I always like that, how you could kind of see where the temperature might have, kind of pulled more of the confetti in, or at least kept it in that area. Go to the left side of the diecast here. You have the number 20. You have the Home Depot. Again, just all the confetti built up around the car. It's so cool. You could see where maybe they had the window net out, or maybe he pushed it, the confetti when he was getting out of the car. Or heck, maybe when they were steering the car through the garage area to get to not pit road, but Victory Lane. Sometimes the crew members will reach in and steer the car for him, because the driver can't see all around him, right? And maybe that's why some of the confetti kind of got rubbed off there. So that's what's really cool about race to win diecast post Victory Lane, because it kind of tells a story of that entire day, so to speak. Got Goodyear there, got NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, Mechanics Wear, Holly Checkers, got DirecTV, USG, 3M, Dow Chemical, Mac Tools, Jegs, EA Sports, Commit, Autometer, Denso, Jessel, and Stant. Over to the right side of the door panel, you have a small contingency area. You got Doosan, I have no idea. You got one decal, I don't know what that is, and then you have Safety Clean there. Over to the name rail of the diecast, you have Smoke there. On the B post, you have Subway, Old Spice, Coca-Cola, and Slim Jim. I didn't know those were contingencies with the Joe Gibbs Racing camp. Subway was with Roush at the time, so that's kind of interesting. But I mean, naturally, they did sponsor Tony Stewart in 2008, but I didn't know they were on his car in 2007. Get the Home Depot right here in the right rear quarter panel with the store number there, which is pretty cool. That's something they did. I want to say pretty much all of his events when he was sponsored by Home Depot. Tony Stewart's cars always had the store number on the quarter panel. GameStop did the same thing with Joey Logano when they would run, I think, in the Nationwide Series, and then he had like one start in the Cup Series, but they would have the store number on the paint scheme as well. Ironically, both of them car number 20 with Joe Gibbs Racing, but that was a really cool thing that they would do. So if they were racing at Atlanta or they're racing at Talladega, wherever it be, perhaps they would have a store in that geographical location that would be the number on the car potentially, or they might have some sort of incentive to put it on the car. So that was kind of a cool thing. So each raced win is always going to have a different store number there. So that's one of the cool little fun facts. Go to the back panel of the diecast here. You have Home Depot, www.homedepot.com. I do miss when the sponsors used to have all the .com promotion on their cars. Nowadays, it's pretty much hashtags or at this or at that. So it definitely is a sign of the time, so to speak. Now, the right rear quarter panel taillight is it's a little bit off there, but I'm going to be honest with you, that might actually be accurate because the front ends of these cars were skewed out, but just as much the rear bumpers were as well. They would modify these cars like crazy, so I would not be surprised the whole rear bumper of the car was actually shifted out more, and that's the reason why that's off, or it could just be a factory error. Got the spoiler of the car, has a few chips or scratches there. That's actually a very easy fix. You can see a little bit of dirt and grime right here. This area might be from the catch can. I believe they were still using catch cans in 2007. You can see a little bit of maybe some dirt and grime. I don't know, maybe a bumper that was bent in. Naturally, with it being a die-cast mold, they didn't have the the bents and dents to the car. Go to the right side of the die-cast here. Minimal amount of confetti. You could definitely tell the confetti was blasted mostly on the left side of the car. Over here to the right side, you can see the burnout area on the right rear fender well. You can see the rubber that's kind of built up. That's pretty darn cool. And it kind of gives you a glimpse at the paint scheme without any confetti as well, which is always sharp. And these race to win diecast, if you kind of just, removed all the confetti, so to speak, these are the most accurate versions of the real car. Like if you have a 2007 Tony Stewart diecast, oh, by the way, they're very easy to get. They overproduce them till the cows come home. You could compare it to this one, and like where the number is, the side logo, everything's going to be a little bit different. And you'll notice how much more realistic this one is to the actual on-track car. That's one thing that's amazing about the raced version diecast is they're not based off just a random, diecast render sent to the team or the factory in January before they even get to Speed Weeks. These are verbatim based on Victory Lane photos and actually handcrafted, which is fantastic stuff. You do have this random line right here on the right front fender. If I had to guess, this is just a 3D illusion to try to show you that this fender was probably bent in, I would imagine. I don't know, but that's the only thing I could think of. And then you go to the top of the diecast here and look at all that confetti. I love it. It looks fantastic. I do wish the confetti was all over the car because now that we've had the next gen era of diecast, there's literally confetti on the windshields, even for the truck series and Xfinity series too. Going back and looking at some of these confetti race twin cars, it does irk me because I'm like, wow, they couldn't find a way to put it on the windshields. But you know what? It is what it is. It's not that hard to fix if you really wanted to. So I'm just glad they actually made these things. 2007 is one of the greatest years in NASCAR diecast collecting as a 164 cat myself because they made almost every single diecast in 164. I think they made everything except for like 5 raced wins, which that's like what, 31, 32 out of 38, something like that, because they made the expedition races, all-star shootout and duels. Got the, of course, the orange 20 on the top of the car, which is kind of interesting choice because everything around the car is bright orange, so they make the roof number bright orange as well. Traditionally, they do a alternate color, if you will. And then you go over to the deck lid of the diecast, you have the Home Depot once again. If you're curious how the bottom of the car looks, here's a gander at the 2007 Chevy Monte Carlo, which, fun fact of the day, they still produce this car today. basically. They still make the 06, 07 Chevy Monte Carlos. They've done this with a couple of late model releases. They've done this with, oh my goodness. They've done this with, let's see, they did the Chase Elliott release. There was a Dale Earnhardt Jr. late model release. And I want to say there was another one they made a Gen 4 car on. I could be tripping on that, but they still have the actual casting for this diecast. They made numerous ARCA cars for it as well throughout the early to mid 2010s. And maybe a few, what was it, K&N East series? I think they made like one or two of them in around like 2018 or something when they still ran Gen 4 bodies. So my point is, there is a chance that we could see a lot of NASCAR classics still produced with the 06, 07 Monte Carlo. They still have that original casting. I remember hearing one time, and this is really off topic here, but they were, the Checkers or Wreckers line, they were kind of pondering some of the ideas to do, and one of them was the 2017 Chase Elliott Martinsville wreck. I think that one did get produced in the Checkers or Wreckers, but another one was the 2008 Kansas finish with Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson. But the problem was they didn't have the 2008 tooling anymore for the COT Ford, which I find that hard to believe. I mean, they could remake it if they want to. They could just buy one, disassemble it, remake. There's ways to do it. They got laser scans. They got all kinds of crazy technology. So they could easily do it if they really wanted to. If they want to remake it, they could make it even more accurate, potentially. But I really would love to see this, is potentially maybe they'll make more raced win classics that never got produced through 2006, 2007, even maybe some nationwide wins. There was a lot of big cup stars, right, that I feel like they could do some NASCAR classics with. They have the tooling for it, so it's not a bridge too far, so to speak. And I'm kind of curious what other toolings they still have. Do they still have like the 03 to 05 Monte Carlo? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of curious. They didn't have the 08 Ford Fusion COT, so I'm kind of curious. But yeah, that's all for now, fellas. Thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And here's a look at one of the raced wins from 2007 that don't have confetti. This is the Spring Atlanta raced win. But man, fantastic diecast. 2007, such a nostalgic year of the sport. Final year of the Gen 4, and they went out with a bang. If you want to help support the channel, you know what to do, fellas. Make sure to tap it over there at Circle Diecast. Use promo code Diecastbuffet. You don't have to, but helps me be able to do videos like this for y'all, fellas. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a blessed one. DB signing off.